I'm Devina Joshi. I'm going to take you through the Communication Skills module. The key to speak effectively or communicate effectively with your boss, your colleagues, your staff, or most importantly, your client is very, very important, and it's a prerequisite no matter what industry you work in. The key word here is effectively. What do I mean by that? Well, you don't get a second chance to make a good first impression. To impress your recruiters and hiring managers, you need to know the following skills that we are going to discuss. Of course, that doesn't mean that once you're hired, you forget about these skills, but you develop them further to impress your boss, your teammates, and your customers. Communication skills can be broadly classified into 4 categories: verbal communication, non-verbal communication, written communication, and active listening. Let us understand in more detail what each of these include. When we speak of communication, verbal communication, the following skills come into the picture, especially when you're having a face-to-face conversation or a telephone conversation. Listen carefully. Are you a good listener? If you have the ability, this particular ability, which is highly valued by the employers, then you have a better understanding of tasks and projects. You build stronger relationships with your co-workers and your customers, and you're able to solve problems and resolve conflicts. Very often, when you don't listen carefully, there are a lot of misunderstandings which can take place, particularly with your customers. Customers very often complain that they are not given a patient hearing. Here, I would like to point out that there is a difference between listening and hearing. Listening is when you put your mind to what is being said. Hearing is merely getting it in from one ear and letting it out from the other, which we all do sometimes. It could be as simple as when you're having a face-to-face conversation with somebody, you are constantly fidgeting with your pen, or you're flicking your hair, or you're looking outside the window because something catches your attention. Well, that is not polite. Maintain eye contact. It is important to maintain eye contact with the person whom you are speaking to. This shows that you're invested in what the person is saying. Of course, here I must say, don't stare. Be clear while speaking. Good communication means speaking in grammatically correct sentences and avoiding the discomfort of awkward silences which comes up when you don't have the correct vocabulary. Here, I must also add that the key to good communication would also be when you have a clear knowledge of what you are speaking about. Here, I'd like you to remember that many of us, while speaking, tend to say oh, so, right? Let us do an activity which will help you get over this problem. Pause the video for a while and go through this activity. Speak on one of these topics for 1 to 3 minutes and record yourself. See how many times you used like, so, This is a nervous habit, and with practice you can become mindful about using precise vocabulary. The first topic is talk about your very first working experience. The second, reason for declining customer satisfaction. The third, a problem your organization is facing. Or you could choose any other topic of your liking. The next verbal skill is to focus on non-verbal communication clues. These give you an idea of what the person is feeling. So, for example, if the person is avoiding eye contact, it could be that the person is uncomfortable or is hiding a truth. Do not interrupt the speaker. Well, how many times have we been told as children not to speak in the middle? Well, it's always good to let the other person speak and say what they want to, and complete what they want to say, even if you feel that they're saying something irrelevant or they have spoken something wrong. Be confident. It goes without saying that you need to be confident in your interactions with your colleagues, your bosses, and especially your clients. It shows your customers and clients that you believe in what you're saying and you will follow it through. Be open-minded. If you're a good communicator, you will always enter a conversation with a flexible and open mind. Instead of simply trying to get across your message, try to listen and understand the other person's point of view. Represent information in short. Nobody likes to listen to a person who goes on and on. So, if you want to be a good communicator, say what you have to say and say it clearly and directly. Don't beat around the bush, just get to the point. And people will be thankful for that. Your message will get across, and this should be done whether you have a face-to-face conversation or a telephone conversation. Be sure you are always listening to and empathizing with the other person. By willing to enter a dialogue, even with people whom you disagree with, you will be able to have more honest and productive conversations. Think beforehand about what you want to say. This will help you to avoid talking too much or confusing the other person.